Do not listen to this recording whilst driving or whilst operating machinery. Only listen when you can safely relax and bring your full awareness to your own complete comfort. Please be aware that this recording features an imagined age regression technique. If you have any concerns before listening, always consult your doctor or healthcare professional. Hello, this is Michael Seeley welcoming you to this guided hypnosis session. This hypnotherapy experience is focused entirely for you on finally allowing you to come to terms with your own particular fear or your unique personal phobia. As you listen and follow along with my voice, this session will find you permanently releasing and overcoming those unwanted sights, sounds, thoughts, and feelings which may have been holding you back from living and enjoying your very best life. As you and I know, fears, phobias, anxieties and apprehensions can come in all shapes and sizes. Some of us may have a certain reaction to animals such as dogs, cats, birds, spiders or snakes, when in fact we would really like to feel much more comfortable, calm and at ease when regarding or interacting with such creatures. Some of us may react with undesired anxiety towards the idea of airports, flying in a plane, delivering a public speech, standing at a height, being in an open space, being in crowds, or being in a closed space. Or it may even be the very idea of a nightmare, or anticipating lying in the dark, spending time alone with ourselves, or even joining in particular relationships with others, professionally, socially, or romantically, that may have previously given us such persistent concerns. The A to Z list of the human mind's possible phobias is as intriguing as much as it can be surprising. Now, if you are finding yourself identifying with one of these cases, or you are simply in one of those similar categories that I have not mentioned, then my coming words in this recording are especially for you. You should know that hypnosis as a healing technique is directed to the vast resources of your subconscious deeper mind. And when habitual fears turn into long-held phobias, then somewhere along the way, our deeper memories have learnt to associate behavioral responses that we have now forgotten how to consciously choose. You will find that this is why hypnosis and hypnotherapy is so effective for you, because it allows a much more conscious control over your previously unconscious or automatic reactions. Somewhere in your past, your deeper mind has learnt your phobic response, and because of this, it is your deeper mind which can now most definitely unlearn all of those old patterns. So I would like you to begin with something just a little different before you go directly, in a moment, into your deeper hypnosis trance. Close down your eyes now if you wish, or leave those eyes open. Either way is fine for you to begin. But I'd like you to spend the first few moments with your fully awake and alert awareness as you consider some important questions towards your own chosen goals. Now, just by asking these questions, you are already planting the seeds of your own success. So just stay in a lighter state of focus at first here to really explore these ideas. And know that you can attach any visuals or sounds or feelings to these responses that you create, remembering the more detail, imagery, and feeling you attach to your positive solutions, the more you will naturally get out of your session. Now go ahead and begin to relax, and think about making the empowering choice to 100% free yourself forever of your fear or phobia. And as you do this, ask yourself, what positive change do you want most of all once you finally let go of your fear or phobia? What, if anything, do you think has previously stopped you from making your change? How much time has been spent in your life until now worrying about your fear? Is there anything you will lose from finally letting go of your phobia? What will you positively gain from finally releasing your anxiety? And lastly, when do you want your change to take place? Now, having consciously considered your answers, let's begin right now with your complete hypnosis experience, as you choose to go ahead and unconsciously bring about all of your own positive solutions. So allow yourself to settle in and further relax. And now let all of those conscious responses you've just imagined just move gently away, somewhere to the sides of your mind. And the more you allow your conscious thoughts to calm down outside now, the more your subconscious or unconscious mind can tune into them and listen inside. So let those heavier eyelids close down now if you have not already. And know that you consciously are always free to come back to your thoughts, free to open your eyes again. If anyone or any situation needs you, you can easily respond. But in this time ahead, for now, let the pleasant, relaxing curtain of deeper trance formation fall over your eyes, allowing you to invest more and more in your own private time. because this isn't the time for friends or family, but rather this is time just for you, becoming more and more aware of your own behaviors, your own feelings, and how you truly wish to be. Now as you continue to relax, become more aware of your breath as you deliberately slow down that breathing. Breathing in and breathing out as you relax. And in a moment I'm going to ask you to count backwards from the number 100, but I'm going to ask you to do this in a slightly different way. So with each countdown in your mind's eye, I want you to also imagine the shape of the numbers that you might see, and just visualize these numbers as best you can, just imagining them to be like a big sign on a hillside, stretching from all the way to your left to the far side of your right. And say to yourself with each lower number, I go deeper and deeper, letting each and every next number shrink down smaller than the one that has come before. So it will sound to you something like 100, I go deeper and deeper. Then the number 99 grows smaller than that 100 before it, and so on down and down you are going. And now there will come a time very quickly where the numbers are also fading and dissolving away, and you will reach a point almost immediately where those numbers disappear completely. So you can try to look out for that when that happens, but if you most likely forget to remember where you are in your number sequence, then just know that's perfectly fine and okay, because it also means that wonderful hypnosis is now working for you. So start right now with 100. I go deeper and deeper. 99. I go deeper and deeper. Feeling so calm and relaxed. 98. I go deeper and deeper. As the numbers themselves become less and less important. 97. Deeper and deeper. 100. And exhale slowly as you relax further still. 96. Deeper and deeper. Those numbers fading and becoming smaller and drifting further away. That's right. 95. Deeper and deeper. And your conscious mind continues to count down there in the background, as your unconscious mind stays in the present foreground listening to my words. Down and down, you relax more and more. And when you are satisfied, you can no longer find the next number in your mind's eye, and just let all of those numbers fall away completely as you double and triple your developing calmness. Really just enjoying these soothing sensations all the way down to the wonderful, tranquil basement of your total relaxation. Going deeper and deeper down still. Now your unconscious has slowed down your breaths, and it's so deeply comforting to know that you can rely on the unconscious parts of you to always be there. And even as you remain awake through this session, always enough to be hearing my voice and instructions, there is that other part of you that can rest and relax, because you easily remember all of those important abilities that are always there inside. Now see yourself calm and confident as you relax, and take these moments to feel all of that subtly tingling anticipation which is developing within you in this positive place. Because you can enjoy your own limitless possibilities, which have already begun, and you are trusting your unconscious more and more to do all of these things for you. Reminding you to breathe deeply, and allowing your more serene and more tranquil demeanor. A permanent way of life where you are learning to become so much more stress-free, as all stress just melts away from you. Now you may have heard those special teachers who say that in time we'll often laugh as we look back on how we once behaved. And still others who say, why should we wait? Because even right now, you are already noticing that change is bound to happen. Days always change into those nights, and nights always change into the next season, and seasons change into those years, and years of old habits. And even during all of that natural time span, some people really do still work so hard at trying to stay the same, as if that were even possible for any of us. Whilst others, you may know, instead go with the flow. And those role models more easily put down all of their stress and tension, resting all of their baggage at that station whilst smiling and laughing, which some people may consider to be old-fashioned, I suppose, but it's certainly much cheaper and more effective than constantly straining those arms or those leg muscles, trying to grasp and hold on to old-fashioned thoughts and ideas which you no longer need. And even little babies know that it becomes something to giggle about, something so silly to knowingly continue to crawl on the floor when we are more and more capable of standing up on our own sturdy 2 feet and allowing ourselves to smile widely as we walk through the welcoming door. And perhaps sooner than you expect, you can know that there must have been a time in your own past, a very specific and final moment when you crawled your last crawl. And somewhere inside of you, you finally felt, well, that's more than enough. I've done my time crawling, and now begins my upright, self-assured steps. And even as there is that part of you that is wondering what I am saying, I don't want you to look back too far just yet. But I do want you to notice right here and right now how you are already drifting and dreaming through your mind's calmest doors. As you imagine arriving into this next special place, a safe place of protection waiting here just to welcome you. Now notice how moving just a few steps beyond brings you every sight and every sound and every feeling of perfect safety and contentment. This most wonderful serenity that you now recall. And notice that your unconscious creates for you just such a place. This one just for you, as it builds your own private, protected retreat. So really see and hear and feel yourself here using all of those senses. As you firmly step foot and arrive into your most blissful, peaceful memory or your most wonderful fantasy, where you can drop all of those anchors and finally rest. And as I often say, I don't really know what relaxation means exactly for you, but I do know that maybe you see yourself lying down here in your comfortable hammock, or you feel yourself resting on the soft touch of warm green grass, or maybe floating up high in the whispering clouds, or anywhere at all that you choose. Wherever you are, you feel safe and protected and loved. Now, as you seek to address your problems in just a few moments, I want you to remember that at any time you can return to this comfortable place of safe protection, because all you have to do is think to yourself the words, "I am safe and secure," and you will immediately return to this safe environment, perfectly shielded by your own mind's infinite protection. For now, though, find yourself ready to address your specific issue of that old fear or old phobia lingering inside of you. And we are now going to work more directly on your issue. So let yourself move a little further away from your safe place, always knowing you still carry all of that strong, loving protection with you. And as you drift in your trance, notice yourself already moving in a new direction. And new colors can come, and new sounds, and new sensations. And now picture yourself going down new corridors. Hear yourself descending the steps of new hallways. And feel yourself passing through new archways of possibility even further down. Relaxing all the way down until you find yourself entering into the space of a very unique room. And you realize that this room here is built as your own private movie projection cinema. As you feel yourself relaxing more, and you see yourself sinking down into your favorite and comfortable movie watching chair. And now up there in front of you, you also see an enormous silver screen. A wide screen where you know you can deliberately play out any moments from your own life, any scene in time from your personal experience can play up there that you choose to review. You feel in absolute relaxed, safe control, as if you are holding a universal remote control to program any aspects of your life, just like watching and learning from a historical documentary. Now, as you think about your specific fear or phobia, take a moment to remember that the root cause and source of your problem truly does exist somewhere within your memory banks of your life's experiences. Because somewhere in your past, there really was that very first moment where you originally learnt to associate one feeling to another, one image to another, one sound to another, and perhaps even tastes or smells to others. Or all of those senses came to be linked together in those very specific ways. Now, I'd invite you to realize and appreciate that your deeper mind and your deeper self created your fearful reactions in order to best protect you from what your younger mind perceived as a possible threat or danger to you once upon that time. Your subconscious self did this to keep you safe in its own best ways, to protect you with your best knowledge and resources available to you at that time. So take a real moment for yourself to thank that part of you for really doing its best work to keep you safe and protected way back there, and for giving you what was needed at the time. And now you know, and I know, however, that since your first instance, your unconscious mind has also been repeating those very same older patterns for you, perhaps even over and over and over again. And this time, now, you know the time has truly come where those old, outdated responses have completely played out and met their use-by date. Because you have grown and continued to learn, and you are now in possession of much, much stronger ideas. You are choosing now to respond with much, much calmer behavior. Because this is the powerful response which now gives you everything that you really need and desire. Your adult self knows now how to remain cool, calm, safe, and relaxed in all situations. So you feel fine to let go of those older, worn-out ways now, knowing that the deepest parts of you are moving in agreement to create these more powerful choices, moving within your easier reach. So with your deeper mind's permission, let your movie curtains part there ahead on your special cinema screen, as your powerful, transformative, life-changing show is about to begin. And as the show starts, I want you to imagine that you are floating up backwards from your seat in the audience, so that you are easily floating up and moving into that projection booth, up and behind you, where you are the one in charge. And at the same time, from the projection booth, you still see your own self sitting down there in that comfortable seat below, as you find yourself safely removed to this extra distance, which allows you now to feel calm as you review and neutrally observe your fear and phobia memories about to play out on that screen. So when you feel ready, let your mind go to the most recent memory of your fear, remembering you are protected at all times by your special distance, and any past experience that you view or hear now remains perfectly under your absolute control. So just allow yourself to see this first, most recent memory of your phobia that you experienced beginning to play out there on the movie screen. And change the projector settings whenever you wish, so that you see this recent memory only playing out in black and white, with all colour drained away. And you have at your fingertips the dials to slow down or speed up the movie whenever you choose. And watch as you play the movie from just before you see yourself feeling your fear, and then go all the way through to just after the end of your fearful reaction, where you stop that movie scene. And really notice as the scene freezes and ends that you really do see you are still safe, you are still fine, still okay. See yourself on the screen clearly having survived your experience, because you are obviously intact, safe and in one piece. You are safe, you are relaxed, you remain in control. Now let that first scene just fade away and disappear. Because you are now letting your mind drift back to a second earlier memory to do with your fear or phobia experience. Just let the very next but earlier scene that comes to you begin to play out there on your screen. So start this second, earlier memory, also turning it to black and white, draining it of all its colour. And take your movie from just before you experience this fear. Watching yourself, watching your own self on the screen. And notice the trigger moment for your fear, and how that screen version of you reacts to that trigger moment. Hear any particular sounds that you heard, and notice how those special sounds affect you. Remaining safe now and in control, and play the movie through until you reach the end of your fear. And when you reach the end frame, freeze that frame of the scene and realize again you are still alive and okay. You are breathing calmly and you have successfully survived safe and secure. And now let that second scene disappear as the image dissolves and wipes away. Now I want you to let yourself go back even further again, and your mind is becoming more and more like a curious detective now, as you are looking and learning, sorting through your own experiences. and each moment of your fear and phobia holds a particular clue ripe for your discovery and understanding, because you are looking and searching for what has led to the very first creation of your phobia. And take the time to review these moments as you go backwards in time, asking yourself, is this the very first time that I experienced my fear? Remembering you are a neutral spectator, remaining in your projection booth, watching yourself down there, watching your younger self up there on the screen, as each new black and white memory plays out under your control. Now, when I count backwards from 3 to 1, I want you to allow yourself to go directly to that very first time that you see yourself experiencing your fear. Now 3, 2, 1. Go there now. And notice where it is that the younger version of you is on the screen. Notice what you are doing. Notice if you are alone or with others. Really notice what is your exact situation or activity. And let your deeper self learn as much as you can to better fully understand and observe everything that is occurring. Now play this scene all the way through to the very end where you freeze the image. And see yourself once more having successfully survived your first fearful encounter. Realize and reassure yourself that you are truly safe and secure because you have all of the rest of your positive life ahead to live. Now rewind this first scene. Reverse and rewind this scene as you reverse its directions and play this scene out backwards. And as you do, I want you to do something very special. I want you to imagine adding in some silly sound effects or just funny music playing over the top of this scene as you rewind the scene quickly, backwards, faster and faster, more and more all the way through to the very beginning again, realizing just how ridiculous and silly this scene is. And now play through this scene again, and this time, if you are comfortable floating down, then just imagine yourself moving into that first comfortable seated position in the audience there as you watch the scene play forwards in normal time in black and white. Now notice any changes in your response. Notice if your younger self up there appears to be feeling calmer and more confident. and watch as you play the scene to its final conclusion and freeze that frame again as you realize at the scene's end all parts of you remain calm and in control. Now run this scene for a third time, and on this time you may either remain in your seated position, or if you are more and more comfortable with the idea, then allow yourself to float all the way up there to that last frozen frame at the end of the scene, and feel yourself stepping into the frame and into your younger shoes. And now, this time around, turn your movie into full color as you again reverse the entire sequence, rewinding this scene. And feel your body moving backwards faster and faster, faster and faster as you reverse the footage, playing that funny, ridiculous comedy music over the entire reversal. Something that really makes you giggle and laugh at how absurd this whole rewinding, reversing situation is. And reverse yourself all the way back to the start of that first frame at its beginning. Turn the image to black and white again and play this scene through as slowly or as quickly as you wish. And now feel exactly how you wish to feel. Feeling absolutely calm and relaxed and confident within yourself because you know you have complete control. And once you reach the end of the scene, bring back all of the color again and realize you are now conquering your fear. Right now, you are conquering your phobia. As you breathe calmly and deeply, feeling the pride and pleasure of standing confidently in your final frame. Congratulate yourself for a job extremely well done, because right here you have shown yourself you are now much, much stronger than your fear. You know now that you can come back whenever you wish and play this scene through as many times as you choose. Because you are conquering your phobia. Because you have conquered your phobia. You have conquered your fear. Now I want you to look at your fear there and imagine it as a small and weak object. And look upon that old phobia and see that you no longer need it. You no longer want it. You no longer need your fear, because your phobia is so much, much weaker. Before your very eyes and to your very ears, your phobia is breaking apart and crumbling as its parts become rusted and fragile and fall into ruins like a pillar of sand. deep down inside of you, you realize you are so much more powerful. You are ready to move far, far beyond your broken fear. Because every part of you is now truly at ease. Your calm confidence is expanding and growing. And this incredible feeling fills into every and all areas of your life. You are seeing in quick succession every memory and movie scene played out from the original scene onwards is now changing in its nature in your life. Every memory there you played now shows a broken, fading, and crumbling old fear. Those fears are dissolving and melting and being blown away. You are happy and confident, realizing you are able to face and overcome anything you choose. You have finally confronted and faced up to your fear. And now you easily let go of everything that once bothered you. So float back down from the cinema screen as you return triumphantly to your seat. And realize you are cutting all cords that used to previously connect you to that broken fear. Now is the time to cut all ties, and so you easily cut those energy connections. You feel yourself letting go and releasing as you cut the cord to your phobia. And you feel free from all anxieties and take back all energy. You are so much, much stronger now as you release and let go of all anger, all hurts, all nervousness and shyness, all worries and concerns, forever and ever. Now the movie screen grows dimmer again as you allow it to just fade away. And with it, those past fears and phobias and anxieties are all melting away. And you feel so much more whole inside of yourself, so much more complete, as if the weight of the world is now lifting from your shoulders. Your inner energy expands. Your inner light glows so much brighter. So take yourself into your brighter future as you imagine stepping into your comfortable tomorrow right now. And see and feel and hear how amazing and confident you are, experiencing your day and your life as you wish to be. completely free of your old worries in every possible way. From this moment onwards, you remain calm and relaxed in all situations. You realize you can go anywhere at all that you choose. You journey calmly and easily no matter how you travel. You know you remain calm and relaxed around all people and animals. And you are perfectly happy and at ease to spend that time alone with yourself. So continue to relax deeply as you drift and dream in your thoughts, allowing all of this important work you have done to integrate and absorb into all parts of your deepest being. And know that in the next coming days, nights, and weeks ahead, your unconscious creative mind will continue to find more and more solutions for you, always allowing you to become a much more relaxed person, a much calmer person, and a much more confident person, as you are simply enjoying living your own life to your greatest and best potential. Now this recording is about to end in a few minutes, and I want you to think now about what you are going to do next. For example, if you are playing this recording as you are going asleep at night time, then just ignore the remainder of my words, as you will now fall asleep deeply into a sound and refreshing night's sleep. But if you need to get up and get on with your day or evening, then just keep listening. And as you return to your conscious awareness in just a few moments, every positive choice you have made for yourself will now compound and double your sense of confidence and happy determination to live your very best life as you envision and embrace your absolute and total freedom. And so now I am going to count upwards from 1 to 5. And when I reach 5, I will say fully aware, and you will return once again to your fully present conscious alertness, feeling recharged and refreshed, as if you have had the most refreshing rest of your mind and body's replenishment. So 1, slowly, easily, calmly coming back as you feel your energy returning to your body. 2, each muscle remains calm, loose, and limp as you feel wonderfully good. 3, from head to toe you feel amazing in all ways. 4, your eyes feel calm, clear, and relaxed as if they've been bathed in crystal clear spring water. And on the next number I say, you will become fully aware, opening your eyes wide, perhaps wanting to stretch out your limbs, feeling energized and alert. Now, 5, eyelids wide open, returning to full consciousness, taking a deeper breath as you smile and congratulate yourself on your successful self-hypnosis. Now I will leave you with this last thought, as I wonder how will you first enjoy those surprising moments of your newfound powerful freedom. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you soon.